This is my second video, so I'm still gonna introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Sarah. I'm at my hairstyle art studio called Painting with a Purpose. This is not promotional content. I'm just letting everyone know who I am, what I'm about. So some of you might know me as my Twitter handle, my Instagram handle. I'm not affiliating myself with any of that at the moment. This is just me, raw, unfiltered. Well, all of it is, but now you guys kind of get to see me on a different platform where I'm sharing some of my ideas in a different way. This is kind of like my vlog, if you will, more archaic than TikTok, but it's just an authentic way for me to express some of my deeply held beliefs that I think deserve some screen time, maybe. But other than that, yeah, it's just my daily thoughts, my ramblings. Today, though, I am thinking, I've been meditating about this. So getting my own art space. A lot of people ask me, how did you afford to get the space? Well, the answer is not really complicated, but more of a complex one. So I applied for a grant through the city of Hagerstown. It's kind of as a joke, actually. I didn't think I would actually get it. But I applied for this grant that was for small businesses, which I already was established as a business owner, as a sole proprietor in my home state of West Virginia, but I live on the Maryland border of West Virginia and Maryland. So my art studio is about 30 minutes away from me driving. So I had like 10 locations to pick from. This was the location that I had picked, and they paid for 6 months of my rent in advance, which I am so grateful for. Excuse me. For those of you who have also donated for like supplies and stuff and like furniture for the space, bless you. Thank you so much. It's been a big help. It definitely hasn't been easy, a lot of paperwork and stuff. But that being said, hard work does pay off. And it's not just like, like, oh, I got this handout or something like that. Like, it's been a lot of, not to undermine the grant or myself, it's just been a lot. I'll say that, but it's been very worth it. So, getting into today's subject, not really even a subject, I'm just going to talk, because that's what this was for. So I've been meditating a lot, though, on my humble journey. Art is mostly a hobby for me. I did start doing paint and sips as for fun, kind of, just hosting them out of my own pocket for like to donate a portion of the ticket sales to animal shelters, wildlife preservation, conservation of habitats. I've done events for the FCC Foundation, Children's National Hospital, and let's see, there's been more. I can't think off the top of my head right now. I've done many events before getting the studio. So getting the studio was kind of just like, especially knowing that I applied for it as a joke and then actually getting it and having to go through all of the legwork to make sure everything was legal. It's been quite the journey the past 7 months or so. So, but I'm very grateful. And now that it's come to fruition and I open in a few weeks, I've just been thinking a lot about my artistic journey. And how I'm going to continue to do the work in regards to donating to nonprofits and charities, because that's something that my whole entire business was founded upon out of my own doing. I was a manager at Taco Bell for about 3 years before I quit my job to pursue my art. And I had done that, ironically, before I even knew about the grant. I quit my job to pursue my art in February of 2024 last year. And I had only applied for the grant in September of last year. So I was living off my savings for quite some time and still am. But yeah, I was smart about it. Reflecting, ignore the people yelling outside in the background, by the way. I am reflecting a lot on my journey. That said, I have a lot of what I would call personally, and this is me being my own biggest critic, bad art, so to speak, hanging up in my art studio. It's not vulgar, nothing like that. It's just not my personal best. And I realize this now that I'm looking around at everything. Like, I feel like I've just started making my magnum opus, like to date at least, like the best piece of work that I've made. I just started making it a few nights ago. I've been posting it on my socials and stuff. It has a lot of religious iconography scattered throughout it. I think that I wish that all of my art looked like this, and had this kind of aesthetic and just like the energy that I've put into it. And I think like, okay, like I'm never gonna make something like this again or something like that. But it's a shame that now that I have my own artistic space, the only thing I have to show for it, in terms of like my displays and stuff, it just feels like such like mediocrity, or like I feel like I have like imposter syndrome or something like that, even though I know that that's not true. And yeah, so it's just feeling like a lot of almost like external pressure to like live up to this like standard that I've built for myself in my head. But getting to the point, I do think that bad art is good in a way because it can help us reflect on where we started. Like I said, humble beginnings. Not all of my art is going to look the same. And I've made pieces like something I made 5 years ago. I could look at it and remember in the moment making it, this is the best thing I'm ever going to make. And then looking at it now being like, what the heck is this? Like, that was my best work at the time. Like, come on, get real, Sarah. So it's just that kind of like reflection, if you will, that I will probably have 5 years from now, looking back at the pieces that I think are my current magnum opus, the pinnacle of my artistic journey, if you will, that, oh, well, I thought that was my best. Like, I might even look back in 5 years from now and think the same thing that I'm thinking now about my previous work, if that makes sense. But I do think with the insurgence of AI, especially now, it's very important for people to have these kind of like creative third spaces, you know, like third spaces, they talk about like work and home. Well, like, where's the third space? They used to exist. But now so much, I don't feel, I mean, I think the most people's third space is like the internet or something like that. Like, it's not really, the world, especially after COVID, I think post-COVID really did that for people, is like took away this kind of like, it just made everyone feel like alienated, you know? But I'm not afraid to lean back into this communal kind of like resurgence of, especially with the AI insurgence, how people are kind of like, and I'm not saying the AI is inherently bad, I'm just saying that like, maybe we still need to have this tangible kind of thing that we can like latch onto and lean into when things feel very contrived and like no one can really distinguish what's real anymore, you know? So we need to have that kind of tangible communal space to hold that connection, to hold that like slice of humanity, that we're not just letting it go that easy and having everything be automated. And you know, to lend ourselves so much to AI that we just resign ourselves completely at our own humanity and forsaking that. So in that sense, I do think bad art is good, because sure, AI can make awful art, but guess what? It can never fabricate the human soul. So that's where I'm at with it. And I want people to know that that's within them as well. So like with painting with a purpose, it's not only the purpose part isn't only reflective of like the work that I do with charities and stuff like that, it's also reflected within helping other people find their own purpose. And that's why it's like a creative space, not just a studio. I want people to be able to come in here. I want to have like some boiler room style like DJ sets. I want to have people, you know, maybe like some flash tattoo events and stuff like that within like the event stipulations that I'm able to coordinate with like the Arts and Entertainment District. I have some friends who want to play shows. I'd like to do some podcasting, kind of like interviews in here eventually if I'm able to. And so yeah, just integrating those things. And like, speaking of integration, like I feel like it's also so important to inspire people nowadays, especially with this whole like tired 9-to-5 thing that we've been having decades, man. So I want people to remember that like whatever your purpose is, you can also lean into that. Like, I am so grateful. I'm so grateful that I've found mine. But I also would love to remind people that it's about integrating what you love, what you're good at, what you can make money from without exploiting yourself, and also without, not at the expense of others, you know, with a fair supply and demand. And also the fourth thing is tying that in together with servitude, service to others. And I think that so often we only do things for this monetary incentive, but like at the end of the day, it really comes down to we should be doing things not because of only ourselves. Like this whole self-serving thing is like really what's got us into this predicament with the way that capitalism is, because it's everything seems like mostly in our own self-interest, but it should be for the better interest of everyone else too, because like one for all and one for all and all for one, like, so, and the one isn't you, it's not you, it's everyone else, like, so it's all of us. And yeah, so, and I think that instead of having this like contrived counterfeit idea of like what we as a society expect our lives to look like, we should be asking ourselves, what can I do? How can I improve my life so that I can improve the lives of those around me and help inspire and incite change in a positive way that feels real and authentic to not only myself, but also to like, you know, the counterculture and what's really important to like instill that authenticity back into our true nature and our daily lives. So make whatever art feels authentic to you. If you don't make art, it's actually a great hobby to pick up. Even if you make bad art, because guess what? Any human-made bad art is way better than any beautiful, perfect masterpiece that an AI algorithm could crank out. So I think that that's really important. And I could probably say more. I will say, please recycle. I will leave you with this. There are, I believe, something close to, and please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Also, thank you for anyone who's still watching. I'm almost done. I believe there's 933 trillion tons of trash floating in the sea. 5 of them being islands, like the size of, I believe, the city of Paris and also the state of Texas, ranging from those sizes. So please recycle. That's one of the things I am very much into, is upcycling and environmental conservation, because we cannot take plastics and revert them back into organic materials. As much as that would be a cool function of AI, it's not possible, and I don't think that the technological singularity will be anything like that, sadly. Which, tying into that, the whole contrived thing is like, is it really good and ethical if it's not helping us reverse entropy? Like, I think that that's the whole thing here, is that we're trying to not kill the planet and ourselves. So please recycle, be mindful of your environment, and I mean, we all want to live, so try to do your part, because time's not slowing down. The planet's not going to heal itself. Do your part, because that matters. I'm doing my part today. I invite you to do the same. And yeah, and I really hope that you guys have a blessed rest of your day. Have a good day on purpose. Don't forget to smile at strangers, and do the best you can do. Have a good day, guys. Until next time.